In this episode of the Red and Gold Report, we're going to be looking at all the recent Chiefs news, including a few April Fool's jokes, a free agency week 4 update, and possible cornerbacks the Chiefs could be targeting in free agency and the draft. So first up, in April Fool's news, Travis Kelce took to Twitter on April 1st to announce that he'd be stepping away from football to go play baseball for the Cubs, which, not even funny, Travis, right? But hey, if you really wanted to give us a heart attack, Mahomes actually owns part of the Royals. So you should have just staged a Royals signing instead of with the Cubs. And that would have been pretty funny, seeing Kelsey take some batting practice out there with the Royals. In other April Fool's news, equipment manager Alan Wright for the Chiefs, who has been with the team so long that he was there when I was still kicking around Arrowhead years ago, Alan posted a picture of a Chiefs helmet that had the normal logo on it, but was like a pewter gold color instead of red. So basically like a Buccaneers gold. Unsurprisingly, Chiefs fans were not fans of the new look, but it was an April Fool's joke, okay? So, hey, real quick, if you want weekly Chiefs news and only Chiefs news brought to you every single week right in here on YouTube, then subscribe on YouTube, hit that notification bell while you have a chance. In other news that may actually matter, a new ranking claims the Chiefs will have the hardest schedule in 2023 in the entire NFL. Now, in addition to playing in the best division by far in the league, the Chiefs have to also play the Packers, the Bills, and the Patriots, and some other difficult teams outside of the division. So thanks for that, NFL. Speaking of rankings, following the trade of Tyreek Hill to Miami, the Chiefs have sank from number 3 to number 7 on the USA Today Power Rankings. They also sank on a few other online rankings I saw come out. So, hey, just as a reminder to all the pundits out there, Mahomes hasn't gone anywhere. We still have the best quarterback in the NFL. In free agency news, multiple online reports have recently had the Chiefs linked to a possible trade with the New York Football Giants for cornerback James Bradberry. Now, this never made sense to me since he has a crazy bloated contract, and it seems that indeed it has been shot down now as a false rumor. In other free agency news, the Chiefs are rumored to be interested in former Patriots and Panthers corner Stephon Gilmore. Now, not too long ago, Gilmore was the best corner in the entire NFL. In fact, he won 2 All-Pro honors in 2018 and 2019 when he was with the Patriots, and even the AP NFL Defensive Player of the entire league in 2019. So, on one side, it would be great to bring someone of that pedigree onto the team in a position of need. But my take is that it's got to be at the right price. Now, Gilmore will turn 32 during this season, as he's been so frequently injured that he played just 11 games in 2020 and only 8 games in 2021. And he's been good those last 2 seasons, but definitely not elite. So keep an eye out on whether, as he continues to go unsigned, Gilmore's price goes down enough for the Chiefs to bite. In other free agency news, Tyrann Mathieu is still not signed. He's still not signed, though he has been taking some visits, particularly to his home state with the New Orleans Saints. Definitely something to keep your eye out on. How low is his price going to go as it goes on and he is unsigned? In other news, a player who the Chiefs definitely did sign, so far this week 4 of free agency, the Chiefs have just signed one player, former Colts defensive tackle Taylor Stallworth. It's likely a 1-year deal for near veteran league minimum. Now, like Tershawn Wharton, Stallworth can add pass rush from the bench, but he's not a starting caliber player, meaning the Chiefs should still be looking to bring in another starter to play defensive tackle alongside Chris Jones. But now, interestingly, they do have 5 veteran tackles that have seen real game time on the roster. In other news, former Chiefs safety Armani Watts has signed with the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts. I always thought that the former 4th rounder never quite got his shot with the Chiefs. Like, he just kept outplaying some of the players in front of him, but he was never awarded with enough snaps. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does in Indy. In other news, Patrick Mahomes recently released a workout video on Twitter that included him getting some reps in with a bunch of different skill position players for the Chiefs. People got way too excited about these sorts of things, but seriously, are we that starved for football already? Like, it's not even May yet, people. But it's still good to see them putting in the work. Now, with all that news in the books, let's turn to the draft. Now, last week we took a look at the Chiefs' greatest need. Defensive edge, right? Defensive end, a pass rusher coming off the edge. We got to have one of those. And we looked at some players who might drop to them in the first round at that position. But this week, let's take some time to talk about corner. Now, the Chiefs have already lost starting corner Charvarius Ward and starting slot corner Mike Hughes in free agency. However, L'Jarius Sneed and Rashad Fenton are already slated to be returning and could be decent starters. However, since teams now start 3 corners, well, that leaves DeAndre Baker currently in play as the 3rd starter. And for what I saw from him last year, while the former first rounder might be okay as a depth piece, he just does not have the foot speed and the man coverage ability to play a starting role. Not even close. So let's imagine just for a moment that the Chiefs use one of these 2 late first rounders on a corner. Now, if they do indeed sign Gilmore, this probably is not that big of a need to spend a first round draft pick on. But if they don't sign a starting corner before the draft, well, I actually could see them potentially spending a first rounder, a late first rounder on a cornerback. Now, my guess is that Cincinnati's Sauce Gardner, LSU's Derek Stingley, and Washington's Trent McDuffie, they're all going to be off the board by the time we draft. Remember, we're drafting with 2 draft picks in the first round at the end of that first round. These 3 players, they're probably going to be gone. There is a chance that Stingley could drop because as you watch film of him, you notice that he's not really he doesn't like to tackle, but he is a great cover corner. Also, Trent McDuffie, I really like his film, but his measurables aren't all there, so there's a chance he could drop. But I think all those 3 top corners are going to be gone by the time the Chiefs are picking in the first round. So from what I'm seeing, that would leave Clemson's Andrew Booth or Florida's Kaiir Elam possibly in play at the end of the first round. Now, Booth has amazing feet, but he does give up too many completions. Elam is physically imposing. I mean, he's just this huge corner. It really jumps out on tape, but he is still working on his technique and penalties. Now, the other player that I'd bring up at corner is actually Michigan's Daxton Hill. Now, the media calls him a safety, which he might end up being. But at Michigan, if you actually watch the tape, he also played a lot of slot corner. He also ran a blazing 4.38 40 times. So he's an amazing athlete, good size. So if you're looking for someone who maybe has some of that honey badger type safety and slot corner flexibility, well, that might be your man. But what do you think? Do you think the Chiefs should even be thinking about drafting a corner that high? What do you think of the Stallworth signing? Do you think that means the team should be done adding to the defensive tackle spot for the offseason? Well, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, notification bell on YouTube to get every Chiefs update right here on the Red and Gold Report. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!